Okay, are we live? You're live. Okay, so hopefully y'all have seen part one. I got this just 3 days after I ordered it. I was very, very shocked. I would have expected it to get here today, along with this, which I purchased the day after I purchased this. So yeah, this I am very, very excited about. This is something that I don't know if anyone has ever seen one of these. Aside from me, I saw one of these. Actually, I saw several of them at a place in Corpus Christi. I saw elevators that had these lanterns. So it's been quite a bit. So it's very old. Like, the elevator system that I saw this on was originally installed in 1950. So, and this is not from the same elevator system. This is from West Middlesex, Pennsylvania. My bad. Again, the seller packed and taped this really well. I don't even know what... Oh, 75% of the... Okay, Alaska. Country Meats. This is a pretty robust box. Look at that. That's really good. So, let's shake it. Ooh. It's not the bell that I was thinking. It's not the bell that I was thinking at all, which sounds more like an Otis bell than anything. There it is right there. So I'm going to build some suspense by showing you the back first. Wow. This is neat. So let me take, actually, taking that off isn't going to do anything. So, still got the wires on the bulb holders. The bell I was thinking that this would have was a different one. It sounded more like an Otis bell, but let's go ahead and listen to this one. That is still very nice. All right, let's look at it. Yep. We have a Westinghouse, very old Westinghouse lantern. These things are extremely rare. I've only ever seen these in one building. These, as far as I'm aware, are super old. This particular one, it's probably from the late 40s or early 50s, but since the edges are not beveled at all like this one, I'm tempted to think that it's from the 60s. I mean, looking at how good of shape it's in, you know, it leads me to believe that. But this is incredible. This thing is in awesome shape. I spent way too much on it, and I'm probably crazy for this. I don't have... Alright, so I went and got a screwdriver. We'll just go ahead and take this thing apart. Hopefully don't break anything. Man, these are long screws. I guess this thing can be like really recessed into the wall, because you can recess it into the wall you know, a certain amount, but not too much, and then you don't want to have it sticking out of the wall because then the lantern won't be flush. So get that out of there. And I like that these screws are like flat, they're flush, almost. They've got a very slight convex on the face. Okay. Let's take a look at these here. Oh, unfortunately, these are not Westinghouse bulbs. These are GE. But, yeah, let's... It would probably sound different if that struck a different part of the flange. So let me rotate this just a little bit. Yeah, that sounds absolutely like a bicycle bell. So I guess Justin was right to call it the Westinghouse bicycle bell. So yeah, this one is higher pitched, like the Wells Fargo Duluth, Minnesota. But yeah, I would have expected that if it sounded like that, it would have been, this bell would have been black, because the other one that I have that's high pitched like this is black. The one from the video that I made with the Westinghouse, they're like the mushroom buttons, but someone called them the cloud buttons. They're white, and I made them light up red and green, because Andrew actually saw one back in the day, and those were the colors that it lit up. So yeah. So with this thing, you know, you could have it mounted this way. You could have it mounted this way. You could even have it ceiling mounted, you know, kind of like a nurse call, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. But, yeah, these bulbs do look really old, though. And unfortunately, they're not Westinghouse like the ones on Anatol's lantern. But, it's still cool. The red one is a 75 watt, and then the white one's just a 40 watt. The red one actually says it's an exit light. So, I mean, let's take these out and look at them. I got to be very careful with these, because I do believe these are vintage. So, yeah, exit, GE, 75 watts, 115, 125 volts. So yeah, I mean, I really can't date it just based off of that. But you can see, it looks like they just like filled this thing up with paint and then poured the excess out, and then they just like blew out the rest of the glass, and then they formed this onto it. So I wonder if it still works. I wonder if this bulb still works. So this one, I'm pretty sure this is a new one. Oh, well, it's got the exact same stuff on it. Yeah, I mean, these are both GE, just General Electric. I'll have to see if I can find any with similar markings. That way I can maybe age them a bit. Well, determine their age. But this one is semi-transparent. This one is a bit foggy, but you are able to kind of see, yeah, oh, yeah, you can actually see that better than me. You can see the filament in there. But yeah, the lights take 120, and unfortunately it looks like the bell does too. So I do not like that. I almost wonder if Wilson Plaza in Corpus, which is what that place was, with the historic rocket Westinghouse elevators, I wonder if it originally had these bells or if it had all the same bells throughout, and if those slightly lower pitched ones were actually the original bells, because I mean it sounded really old, but I can't really say for certain. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to activate this with lower voltage. I can try, but I doubt that I'll be able to. So yeah, as you can see, so you've got your neutral coming out of here, and then you've got your hot lines that go through. And since none of this is polarized, it just sends the current through here, which then goes to here. Like, all of these are in series, instead of, you know, everything is independent, you know. These are all, you know, the outs of both of these go into the bell. So that's kind of cool. But I do have some lower voltage solenoids, so I could just take this flange off of here and just put it on one of the lower voltage solenoids that I have, because I've got several of them. I've got several Westinghouse solenoids. You know, I'll just take the dinner bell off and then throw this thing on. Even though we love our dinner bell, you know, best time of the day. But yeah, that is still really, really cool. You know, this design right here is like straight out of the 40s. You know, those old drugstore signs that you'd see, they would be shaped just like this. Now, the terminal lantern, it would just keep going, you know, kind of diagonal and then, you know, in. And it's actually on the thumbnail of my video of the historic high-speed rocket Westinghouse elevators. You'll see that one there. But having an intermediate one is cool too. And the thing that was really weird about that building was on the lower floors, the lanterns, I guess they redid the ceiling at one point, and it was so low that there were notches in each of the, on the ceiling tiles on each floor because it was too low. So, like, the lantern was sticking up into the ceiling some. So, I thought that was kind of silly. But, yeah, big thank you to this seller, Cubby's Electrical Sales and Service. Definitely look into some of their stuff. Small business, you know, I always think like, man, that's really expensive, but then at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, they probably need the money more than me. That's usually what gets me, but I didn't think that this time around. I just didn't care. I really wanted to have this, especially after the Selectomatic that I saw in Oklahoma City. I was just like, you know what, because it had this exact same PI right here, except it went to 7 instead of 5. So it served 8 floors. But yeah, and these wires are not stiff at all either. I mean, it's more jacket than wire. That's probably why. It's like, you know, what gauge is this? There's no way it's 14. wire is pretty old. No way to date it though. Bulb holders. They're actually made out of ceramic. So like it says that these, like the PI, can handle 260 volts and 660 watts. So again, doing the math, that's like a little over 2.5 amps, or no, that's under, that's a little over 2 amps that it can handle. So yeah. So Hatfield, Hatvinol. Hatfield Hatvinol. That's what it says on the wire. So let me bring this over here. I seriously doubt that this is going to run off of lower voltage. So my crap out of the way. My dehumidifier here. So let me just set this right here. Now, I don't really want to stick the wire straight into the wall just to see what would happen. That's never a good idea. Okay, so good. We got power there. Let's go ahead. Try to ring the bell. Oh! That worked? Cool. Watch this. It sends some... It sends sparks out. Let's see if I can show you that without the wire being in the way. Come on, get out of the way. Whoa, you see that? There's arcing. How does that smell? That's funny. Man, it takes a long time for this transformer to charge back up so that I can ring the bell again. Maybe I'm just not hitting it right. Something. I don't know. Or maybe I blew it up. Maybe I drew too much current from it and shorted it internally. Because inductors do draw a lot of current. Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, y'all see that? Wow. That's pretty crazy. Oh, what happened? What? Okay, no, it's not a problem with the bell. It's a problem with my transformer. It might be dying. There it goes. Yeah, this is super old. Probably just as old as the one that I saw. So, cool. So that means I will be able to run all of this on 12 volts, and then I'll get, I'll just get reducers for, the lamp sockets, just so I don't have to use the 120 volt bulbs. So yeah, I'll be able to do that because I looked these up, and the only places I can seem to find these are from eBay sellers in France, and I really do not want to pay international shipping. It's just not it. So yeah. But yeah, I've got this. These bulbs, I did test these. These are like 12 volts. So these will work. And the thing about that bell is that, you know, it just rings once, you know. I guess you could use it like a vibrating bell, but you know, it basically, it's an AC bell. So if you run DC through it, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna ding one time till you cut the power and then apply the power again. It's only gonna ding once. So if you wanted to make that a vibrating bell, you'd have to you'd have to make a switching circuit. So yeah, anyway, too bad this one didn't come with a bell, but that's okay. I've got one. I've actually got two. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's money well spent just because of how rare those are. And these as well. So yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in again. And yes, there is going to be a project coming up with these parts right here. This and, oh, very nice. With this and that. So, well, I mean, I say that just because I want to do something. Hopefully once I get it off the ground, you know, then I'll be motivated to finish it. So, yeah. That is it for this one, and just a word of advice for y'all. If you're shooting a nitro set, make sure you wear ear protection. I don't know why, but whenever I shoot them, they are incredibly loud. The one time, well, I've done it without ear protection, and it wasn't that bad inside, but I did it without ear protection outside like 30 minutes ago. That was so loud. Like, I've never even had one be that loud inside, so yeah, that was pretty crazy. Thankfully my ears are not ringing anymore, so we're all good. So all right, I'll talk to y'all real soon.